This is Sylvia Saber with OPtv Global Headlines, starting with the top international stories for the day. The Taliban government in Afghanistan has appealed for international flights to be resumed. They assured full cooperation with airlines and saying that problems at Kabul airport had been resolved. Russia, China, Pakistan, and the United States are working together to ensure that Afghanistan's new Taliban rulers keep their promises. Russia's foreign minister said the four countries are in ongoing contact to engage with both the Taliban and representatives of secular authorities. The UN General Assembly in New York ends Monday, but without speeches by those in power in Afghanistan and Myanmar. A high-level UN diplomat told AFP that an agreement had been reached between the United States, Russia, and China, preventing Myanmar's UN ambassador. The Taliban government has condemned the human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Acting Deputy Information Minister of Afghanistan Zabiullah Mujahid said that the Afghan government would continue to provide diplomatic and political support to oppressed Muslims in different parts of the world. At least 3 people have died and some passengers were injured after 5 cars of an Amtrak train went off the rails in north-central Montana. The accident occurred when the Empire Builder train derailed. Turkey would consider buying a second Russian missile system in defense of strong objections by the United States. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Turkey would have to decide its defense systems on its own. Leaders of the United States, Japan, India, and Australia have vowed to pursue a free and open Indo-Pacific region. US President Joe Biden has hosted the first in-person meeting with the Quad countries to reaffirm their shared goals in fighting the coronavirus pandemic, climate change, and building infrastructure and technology. At least 5 Palestinians have been killed and many others injured by Israeli forces during a wave of arrests and night raids conducted across the occupied West Bank. Israel claimed that the arrests targeted a Hamas cell that Israeli security forces had been following for several days. The Iraqi judiciary has issued arrest warrants for participants in a conference in Erbil that called for normalizing relations with Israel. Arrest warrants were issued against the head of the Sunni Awakening Movement and an employee at the Ministry of Culture. At least 50 Houthi rebels and Yemeni pro-government troops have been killed as fighting intensifies for the city of Marib. The continuing clashes have reported claimed around 400 lives in September. Germany's center-left Social Democrats have narrowly won the country's federal elections. It has beaten the party of outgoing Chancellor Angela Merkel, and a coalition must now be created to form a government. Up next, we have the national updates. The oldest Pakistan Army veteran passed away in Quetta at the age of 103. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Sultan Muhammad Khan Mengal was a keen soldier and an adventurist who climbed, walked, skied, sailed, and rode through all of Pakistan's natural terrain. A Frontier Corps soldier embraced martyrdom and 2 others got injured while promptly responding to the terrorist attack at a security forces checkpost in much area of Balochistan. Earlier in the day, the security forces killed a terrorist during an operation in North Waziristan. Prime Minister Imran Khan termed the inclusion of Karachi Comprehensive Coastal Development Zone in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor a game changer for the metropolis. With $3.5 billion direct Chinese investment, it aims to overhaul city's seaboard with new berths for the port, a new fishery port, and a majestic harbor bridge connecting it with Manora Islands and Sansput Beach. Prime Minister Imran Khan visited Karachi, where he performed the groundbreaking of the Karachi Circular Railway project. During his day-long stay in the metropolis, the Prime Minister chaired several meetings to get a briefing on ongoing development projects in the port city. Afghanistan's acting Deputy Information Minister Zabiullah Mujahid has appreciated Pakistan for supporting Afghanistan internationally. He hopes that neighboring countries will continue to extend their support to Afghanistan in front of the international community. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said that Western countries are trying to make Pakistan a scapegoat in the Afghan crisis. Qureshi is in London on a 3-day official visit, also highlighted that Pakistan's role in maintaining peace in the region and the issue of terrorism. Pakistan Muslim League and President Shehbaz Sharif said that his party will bury Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf politically in the next general elections. He also highlighted that the recent Cantonment Board elections were transparent, saying nobody intervened in those polls. The federal government has unveiled an ambitious plan to rebuild Karachi's coastline under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. A statue of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was destroyed in a bomb attack in Gwadar. The Band Baloch Liberation Front claimed responsibility for the bombing. The Higher Education Commission has announced undergraduate scholarships for the students of Gilgit-Baltistan. The scholarship will follow students from the region to study in top Pakistani universities and educational institutions. Tropical cyclone Gulab in the Bay of Bengal is likely to weaken into a deep depression during the next 6 hours. The Met Department stated that there is no threat to Pakistan's coast. 2 fishermen were reported dead after a cyclone packing strong winds and rains barreled into India's east coast. Up next, we have the health updates. 3/4 of eligible Americans have received at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, but the virus still poses a great threat to more than 70 million eligible people who remain unvaccinated. The CDC has approved a 3rd shot of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine to an expanded group of Americans. Pakistan reported a positivity ratio below 4% for the 2nd consecutive day. About 1,757 new infections emerged during the last 24 hours and 31 more people died due to coronavirus, raising the national death tally to 27,597. Up next, we have the updates on science and technology. The world's most important satellite will go into orbit on Monday from California. Landsat 9 is the continuation of a series of Earth-observing spacecraft stretching back almost 50 years and has cataloged the growth of the megacities, the spread of farming, and the evolving outlines of coasts, forests, deserts, and glaciers. Up next, we have the sports updates. Pakistan's tennis ace Isamul Haq and India's Rohan Bopanna are set to reunite once again. The Indo-Pak Express is slated to face Oliver Barach and Philip Oswald of Austria on Tuesday in the tournament. Pakistan's top wrestler Inam Butt has blamed match fixing after he was unable to win a 3rd consecutive medal at the Beach Wrestling World Series in Romania. The wrestler said that he was in a strong position to qualify for the semi-final, but a decision was made against him. England's renowned all-rounder Moeen Ali has decided to retire from Test cricket and he will publicly announce his decision soon. The 34-year-old player has formally informed his team's head coach and the captain about his decision. Lewis Hamilton has become the first Formula One driver to win 100 races, with victory in the Russian Grand Prix. The 7-time world champion also took the championship lead by 2 points from Max Verstappen, who finished 2nd. Up next, we have the entertainment updates. Singer Atif Aslam recently dropped his latest offering, Ajnabi, along with a music video featuring actor Mahira Khan. The Binroy actor said that 10 years ago, that's how I started my career, with Bol sitting with Atif on a roof singing Hona Tha Pyar. World-renowned singers Ed Sheeran, Lizzo, and Billie Eilish performed in a 24-hour concert to raise awareness of climate change, vaccine inequality, and famine. Over 60 artists performed in the Global Citizen Festival in cities including New York, London, and Seoul. Bollywood star Kareena Kapoor has officially announced the release date of her upcoming film Lal Singh Chaddha, also featuring superstar Aamir Khan. Film Lal Singh Chaddha will release on Valentine's Day 2022 instead of Christmas this year. Up next, we have the business updates. Pakistan will pursue individual trade deals with Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman. Advisor to the Prime Minister on Commerce, Razak Daud, said that the government feels it is far better to do individual deals at the moment rather than with the GCC as a bloc. The Pakistan Stock Exchange witnessed a sharp decline last week, with the 100 index falling by more than 1,500 points. In 1 week, the stock market capitalization fell by 304 billion rupees to 7,831 billion rupees. A consignment of 28,760 metric tons of imported sugar has reached Pakistan. It has been imported for utility stores. The price of tax and duty-free imported sugar at the port is Rs 109 per kg. The government of United Kingdom is to suspend competition law to allow oil firms to target fuel deliveries at petrol stations. Officials said the move would make it easier for companies to share information and prioritize parts of the country most at need.